Hi, and thank you so much for purchasing a 4th Street Creative template. This is the video walkthrough for the Distillery tabloid property sheet. When you get the link, you'll be directed to a page that looks like this, and you hit Use Template, and that will bring you into your own Canva account. Once you're in here, what you want to do is head over to File and make a copy. You want to do that just in case you make mistakes or you completely go off track and your design is too far from the original for you to remember what it looks like. You can head over to your main area in your account and grab the original rather than having to go to Etsy and download the entire thing all over again. So this is just a really great fail-safe. Just make sure to make a copy and make sure you always have that second copy, and you'll always have the original to go back and start all over with. The next step, once you're done that, you head over to Uploads, upload an image or video, and this is where you will upload your listing photos. And once your listing photos are uploaded, it'll look like this in your sidebar here. And then you just start changing the images as you see fit. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to change the cover. And I'm not happy with the way that's sitting in the frame, so I'm going to double click it. And then that opens the editor, and you can just change the way it's positioned within the frame. This is the front of the brochure, this is the back of the brochure, and this is the inside of the brochure. So we want to work, you can work on it however you'd like, but we just want to keep that in mind that this half of this page is the front. When it's folded, this will be the back, and this will be the inside. So this is the overlay for the front of the brochure, and if you want to change the color, you head over here to the color box and you can change it to whatever color you'd like. You can also hit this button here and put in your actual color of your brand. That if you use a color all the time, this is where you would make that change here. You can change the font. Obviously, you're going to change the information to suit your own listing, but if you want to change the font, you go over here to the font box and you can change it to your own brand fonts. Loft 12. This works because we have, this is an apartment, a condo, so we have that designation, the loft or the suite or the unit that we can hit, that we can put behind there. But if your property doesn't have that, then what I would recommend is either putting the area or the name of the street itself. So I would just put Distillery and have that behind there. But what I'm going to do, because I don't want it to compete with the wording in front, is reduce the transparency a bit. So I'm going to head over to this transparency button and just reduce that just slightly to probably about 15. And that way it's just subtle in the background. It doesn't compete with your property address. So now I'm going to work on the back, and this picture in the back has an overlay on it. We've put this overlay on the back here because we wanted the colors to mesh really well together. So this is optional. You can remove this if you'd like. We think it adds just a little bit of cohesiveness to the design, so that's why we've added it. You can always change it to your own brand color. And it'll just add that hue over it that will really make it look like it belongs with the rest of the photos. For this purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to leave it brown. Again, Loft 12, you can either remove this completely by hitting delete on your keyboard, or you can change this to say Distillery. I'm going to change it to just say Distillery just to show you. And that looks fabulous. I'm going to leave it like that because it looks so good. This is just more information. If you have a URL, you can put your URL here for the property address, or you can put your own. Like, so if it's your name.com or your brokerage.com, you can do that as well. You can also add this, you can add like a little sentence here about the property if you don't need either of those. Again, you want to switch these two pictures out. It's the same process. And this is the bottom banner. We've created this banner to be quite small and out of the way, so this is more of a let's showcase the property rather than your own brand. But if you do want to advertise your own brand, you have a few options here. So we've also, if you can see here, we've written the name of the brokerage out here rather than putting the logo of the brokerage. But if you do have your own brokerage logo, then you want to upload the light version of that logo. We have the dark version right now, so we're just going to work with that, but let's pretend that this was the light version of your logo provided by your brokerage. just pop that into place on your information banner. And then I'm going to remove this because we don't need it anymore. Okay, and I'm going to say, let's say we want the agent photo in there as well. You know what, I'm going to take a break right now to just explain something to you. The reason why this is happening, why he's trying to pop the picture behind it out of place, is because we haven't locked our images. So something I would highly recommend is once you're happy with your image, this front image here, you head over up here to the lock icon, and that way I can move this guy around on top of it without having it bump it out of place. So I'm going to do the same with these guys because he's competing with them right now. So we're going to lock everything. And now he's not going to pop anything out of place. I can move him all around. I'm going to shrink him down, put it over here, and if I shrink him right down, you'll see that it's really small. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make it about this size and then bring the box down, double click on that box, and move him right here. So it's more of a headshot look rather than a three-quarter look. Okay, and then once you're satisfied with the way this looks, you can play around with this. You know, you can delete this altogether and then just have this on the side, which is probably something I would do if I'm using a headshot. But again, this is completely optional because if you want it to be simplified and you just want to use this as a plug and play, then this obviously is going to take a little bit more time. Okay. And I'm going to do James Smith, realtor. Get rid of this guy. And now I play around with the spacing. It seems a bit tight for me, so what I've done is I've highlighted the text. I'm going to go over to spacing and then go to line height, just drag it a little bit. That's good. And that just gives it a little bit of breathing room. And that works for me. I mean, I like this a lot. I think that it looks clean. You know, I'm just going down to this right here and unzooming it. Fill. Okay, once you're happy with that, you can move on to your second page. So this is where you would put all your property information, and we've broken it up into 3 different sections, but you are more than welcome to, if you don't want to highlight the room sizes, if they're small or they're just not something that you want to include, you can just go ahead and highlight these boxes and delete them, and then drag this box down to the bottom by adding more text to it. So I'm just going to copy this text, and you can just keep doing that until it fills. So you can actually just have a really long property description here. But we're going to leave it this way just for the purpose of this tutorial. Again, this has the Loft 12 stamp behind it, and you can either remove this if it doesn't work or just type in the area or anything that you want in that box. What we've done here is we've added a highlight section, so this is a great opportunity for you to take the 5 most standout things about the property and put them here so that people can get that overview really quickly when they're taking a look at the design. So they'll see it really quickly that this has renovated appliances, you know, the top 5 qualities of the property that you're selling. Great way to just draw attention to it right away. This is just a short write-up space, and of course the room sizes. You can choose to use this or delete it if you'd like. It just sets the tone for the property. And that's it. Once you're done, this is just as easy as literally just bringing your own photos and popping them into place here. So you can do that. And once you're happy with the way that they look in the box, again, you can double click it and just move them around. And once you're happy with that, you go to File, Show Print Bleed, and this will show where the printer marks are going to be. So this dotted line is where the printers are going to cut your document, and you want to make sure that everything is past that dotted line because if it's not and the printer cuts accidentally a little bit on the inside of this, you'll see that brown line next to the headshot, which just looks sloppy. So you want to make sure that everything is out to that bleed line. And if it is, this one I think needs to be brought up just a little bit. And then if that's good to go, and you don't see any problems, then you head over to the download button and you make sure that PDF print is selected. And if you're having this printed professionally, you definitely want to hit crop marks and bleed. But if you're doing this on a home printer, leave that unchecked. So let's pretend that we are having this professionally printed. We hit download. And then I'm going to show you what to look for once this is saved and downloaded. You just open that once, and these are where the crop marks are. And you just want to double check to make sure that nothing's too close to these crop marks. So you want a nice healthy space between this line here, which will be cut all the way down, and any important information. So we want to take a quick look and make sure that nothing is cut off that we don't want to be cut off. And that all looks good. So it's good to send to the printer. And that's it. If you need any more help, you can always head over to fourthstreetcreative.com/tutorials and access our resource library there filled with articles and walkthroughs and tips and tricks. And that's it. Happy design.
Ladies and gentlemen.